Good morning, good morning, good morning, loves. It is Motivation Monday. It's time for us to get up and get this morning going. Y'all see, I'm trying to get my hair together here. I feel like I'm flying all over the place. Good morning, good morning, good morning, loves. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Lynn, how are you this morning? Good morning, good morning, good morning, Boudreaux. Good morning, guys. Good morning. It is Monday, November the 29th, and you are here with yours truly, Dr. K, for Motivation Monday. I'm excited. Let's see who is all in the room. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Yes, and our topic this morning is it's a cycle. So, family, first and foremost, this has been a great week. Thanksgiving, I got to go home, spend time with my family, and what we thought on yesterday was going to be a typical drive back to Atlanta. Ended up taking almost 12 hours. So I'm like, Lord, I'm up, I'm ready. And I need you to move. You got to move the way that only you can do. Because on my own, I'm like, how am I going to figure this thing out this morning? But he says, I got you, my daughter, as I always do. So I'm excited. And good morning, Deborah. Good morning. Good morning. Guys, this morning, our topic, if sometimes we need a title, a topic. It's called It's a Cycle. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. And I did want to say thank you. Good morning, Nanette. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I know, Lynn. That thing took a long time to get back. The traffic was it was horrible, for lack of better words. But once we got into Georgia, it was pretty good. But hey, we enjoyed ourselves because we were in no rush. So we always like to travel on God's time, not our own. So we make sure we have no expectations, and we know He's going to cover us. So we're grateful and thankful for His grace and mercy, first and foremost. But family, this last week, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And I wanted to say thank you, because we didn't come back on that Monday after. I was interviewed on Dr. Jacqueline's Global TV network. I was super excited, and I was so grateful that so many of you guys were able to jump on with me. And it was a great time had by all. That segment was supposed to be like a 30-minute segment. And for those of you who tuned in, it just went on. And God was definitely using us in a great way. So I'm excited about that. And I just want to say thank you all, because I do appreciate it. And for everyone who has already purchased their vision board tickets, I'm excited about that, because it's this Sunday. Yes, we're getting ready to do this thing. So let's go ahead and jump on in, and let's see what God is doing for us, what He's doing through us on this morning. So I thank you for all of our followers who are tuning in on YouTube. Thank you so much, because you guys, we're trying to trend towards that direction. We're still going to be on Facebook, but with the more emphasis, especially in the new year, on our YouTube platform. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So what are we talking about this morning? When you see it's a cycle, I know you're probably saying, Dr. K, what do you mean it's a cycle? So this morning, my meditation, my study, it came from the book of Isaiah, chapter 55. So I know many of you already know the direction that we're going. And initially, I started writing my notes this morning, and, I was having this whole conversation, as I often do, with God. And I'm like, you know what, Lord, when we hear, it's 4 letters that make us lose our mind as people. When we hear the word free, does anybody love free? Now, good morning, Princess. Good morning. I know free will make us stand in lines. Free will make us wake up early. Free will make us leave our children at home, our spouses at home. We will sacrifice some stuff for free. We will act a whole fool for free. And I was like, you know what, Lord? Isn't that amazing how we will get up, we'll run. Good morning, Mama Nucci. Good morning, Shanita. We will get up, we will run when we see something that says is free. And God was like just working on some things with me. And He said, well, this morning, instead of going, I mean, Lynn, I see you laughing, but I'm telling you, free make us lose our mind because we're like, oh my God, I'm gonna be able to get it to free because everybody is looking for a deal, and everybody is looking for something, and everybody loves a deal. We're all searching for satisfaction and gratification, but so many people are searching for it in the wrong places. So when somebody puts this big sign up that says free, we go run into it. We go thinking, oh my God, it's nothing better than free. Oh, but it is something better than free. We get all caught up. We get in line. We start talking to people we don't know, telling them all our business and everything because we're so excited about this free thing. It can be a big thing. It can be a small thing. It doesn't matter. The word free just really does something to us. We get caught up. And I was thinking about a conversation that I had and with a young lady this weekend, actually with a few people. I went to my alma mater's football game against Central Rockets, and big ups. My alma mater is Miami Killian Senior High. Central Rockets, they were victorious, so big ups to them. And I had an opportunity to just chat with so many people very briefly, stopping here and there. And, some people identified me with the mask up, and some were like, who is that? You pull your mask down real quick and it's like, oh my God. And I had so many people, their initial statement to me was, I follow you. I listen to you. I don't like anything. I might not click on it. I might not say anything, but I see you. And I'm like, to God be the glory, because, hey, if you see it, that means you hear it and you hear what he is saying. So it's not about me. So I don't need you to necessarily see me. I need you to see him. So if you're hearing here, then you see what he is saying. You see what he is doing. So I said, okay, God, it's so many people that's out here and they're saying they see, but they're running to something else. They want this life, but then they're running to something else, or we're living in comfort zone. And I said, you know what? The beauty of it all, though, is when I started reading Isaiah 55 on this morning, is that God is still waiting for us no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, no matter how we're doing it, no matter what our minds are telling us, God is still waiting for us. And on this weekend, I had a conversation with a beautiful spirit, and we started talking about some things. And it was a young lady, and she said to me, but how do I know that how do you know when he's talking to you? And I want to do this, and I want to go down this road, but I just know where I've been. I know what I've been through. And I said, the beauty of it is he already knew before you were even formed in your mother's womb. He knew the mistakes we were going to make. He knew everything. So why not stop what you're doing? Because guess what? He knows us like nobody else. And it brought me to Isaiah 55:1. And I'm looking at the New International Version, and it says, come all ye who are thirsty, come to the waters, and you who have no money, come buy and eat. Come buy wine and milk without money and without cost. Remember, I told you we love free. Now, everything that when I say free is free, but everything has a cost. Everything, you're going to give something. So when God says, come to me, and you can come and you can get what I have, and it don't cost you anything. So I'm not going to be like, man, I'm not going to attach something to it. I'm not going to get you there and then say, yeah, it's free, but you got to buy one of these first. Or the second one free after you buy 3. No, he is not going to do that. He says, come. And everybody, not just one person, not the person who is living right. He said everybody. So that means you don't have to get yourself right, because so many of us fall short in that thinking. And I can say it because I've been there before. I know how I was raised up. I knew what I knew, but I'm like, Lord, you know all of this and you still want to use me? And then you want me to be able to tell it? Because my friend asked, they said, hey, what made you so comfortable just sharing everything? You shared so much in your book. And I said, well, it wasn't that I was comfortable. I said, actually, I was extremely uncomfortable because I didn't want to share, because I didn't expose other people. And I explained, I thought that's what it was about, but I exposed me and how I was revealed in his presence, how I wasn't what I thought I was, how I was going in a different path, and he had to correct me, but he allowed me to make my choice. He gave me freedom of choice. So who am I not to allow another person to do that? And our conversation kept going, and I'm like, he'll give it to us. He's saying, come, I got everything that you need. I know everything about you, and I got you. And so we continued our conversation, and it's like, why spend money on what is not bread and your labor on what does not satisfy? Listen to me and eat what is good, and you will delight in the richest fare. Now, have you ever sat down like on Thanksgiving, you ready to eat, and you got your whole mind ready, and you're just eating and eating and eating? Have you ever eaten and you got full, but then within a couple hours you're hungry again? It's almost like, some certain foods we go to eat, and it's like, dog, I go to that restaurant I ate, and I'm still an hour later I'm hungry. And God is saying, why spend money on what is not true bread? That means, why are you spending your time? Why are you spending your effort? Why are you focusing so much on these things that are really not going to give you substance? It's him. He is the true bread. He is what's really going to satisfy. That's why we hop from relationship to relationship, job to job, situation to situation, and we're still yearning, and we're looking, and we're like, but God, I thought this was it. And he was like, no, because you're spending your time, your effort on everything but me. I need you to come back this way. And, in my conversation, we started to just, talk a little bit more and go a little bit deeper. And a part of that conversation, and this is where I'm going to kind of veer off, and I'm like, Holy Spirit, you know what I'm trying to do, what I want to do. In that conversation with the young lady, she said, I thought that you were different, that you were not yourself anymore. And I'm like, we're all ourselves. I mean, but there are certain things in my life that I can't compromise. There are certain things in my life that things I won't do anymore because of where he has me at in my life. There are certain things that I can't sacrifice. I can't sacrifice my faith for a temporary situation. I can't sit in a position where I'm like, you know what? This right here is an old place for me. This is where I was comfortable. I can't do that. And we began to talk about the people who are around us and situations and what that looks like, and how sometimes they'll try to bring us back in. And I'm like, but it doesn't matter about the us. And that's when you start to change your circle. That's when you start to change your thoughts. And the person said to me, well, how do you do that? Well, then I'm looking at Isaiah 55:8-9. His thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways, declares the Lord. The heavens are higher than the earth, so his ways are higher. So when I'm looking at him, when I'm talking to him, when I'm building a relationship with him, I don't worry about what man is saying. I don't worry about who knew me when I was. I don't worry about who remembered when, because God says, I've cleared all of that. I've freed you. I've released you from that. So when you start to look at your circle and the people around you, if you find yourself on the wrong cycle, you got to cut that thing off, and you got to remember and let him speak to your heart, not what people say, because people will look down on you. They'll try to bring you back, and, oh, well, I remember when you was such and such and such, when y'all lived over here. That was me. That's a part of my life, but it doesn't define who I am, because I know who's in me. I know what he's doing through me. And God was like, we got to make sure we remind ourselves that we are not who man says we are. And it brings me to the actual passage that I really want to focus on this morning, and that is Isaiah 55:10-11. It says, as the rain and the snow come down from heaven and do not return to it without watering the earth and making it bud and flourish, so that it yields seed, the sower, and the bread for the eater, so is my word that goes out from my mouth. Come on now. It will not return to me empty. So what does that look like? Family, what we got to understand and what we got to know is, whatever he says, it's going to go out, it's going to prosper. There is a cycle to it, and there is no substitute. He is going to do a mighty thing in us. It does not matter what we've been through. The greater your testimony, the greater your trial and your test, the bigger your testimony, the more people you'll be able to reach out to. Do you have to reach out to people in a public forum? You don't. And there's so many times, so much power in being able to witness to a person, being able to have an intimate conversation with them, and say, as they're pouring themselves out to you, say, hey, that was me too. And they looking like it was you, but you look So, you're well captured, this and that. Yeah, but I wasn't always that. And what you see on the outside doesn't mean that on the inside that there isn't some struggle. Every morning I wake up and there's some things that I battle with, but I surrender it to him and I say, Lord, you got to have it, because in my own flesh, you know how I'll deal with situations. And we got to get to a situation, into a position where we're comfortable with that, where we're comfortable saying, hey, I'm not everything I want to be, but I'm also not what I used to be. I don't let what I used to do define me, because God has forgiven me for that. It doesn't matter what man says. And as I started reading and getting into my devotional this morning, I saw something and it says, you know what? God's cycle is a cycle. Just like we're familiar with science and the whole the plant system, the rain and all of that kind of stuff, or the food web, or the life cycle. The word comes from God for a specific purpose. It will never fail to achieve what God desires, and it will return to God having accomplished the purpose. So guess what? We're here for a specific purpose. All we got to do is align ourselves with him, not with what man says, not with what anybody else says. We got to align ourselves with him, because we are here for a purpose. Now, some of us get off here and there and we're like, I can't find my purpose and I need to figure it out. And I see everybody else and they know what they're doing. Everybody's purpose isn't this big. Some of it is this small. And guess what? It's all a part of working together for his good, to advance his kingdom. Everybody's role that we have to play isn't a gigantic role. Some of us will come off the bench. Some of us are going to start. Some of us are going to coach. Some of us are going to commentate. Some of us are going to be cheerleaders. Some of us going to be fans in the stand. All of us have a specific role that we have to play. And as long as we get ourselves aligned with him, guess what? It's not going to come back void. We're going to set out. It might take some of us longer. Some of us might find our purpose and calling when we're 15, some at 46. But guess what? We will still find it as long as we are searching for him, not man, not anybody else. That's right. We got to work together to advance his kingdom, because it's not about us. We get so stuck in, oh Lord, what am I supposed to be doing? Because I see this person and their platform is moving, and I see this person, they just opened up a store, and this person has just bought a new house, and oh my God, I need to catch up. And he's saying, wait, I got a purpose for you. I have something that I need you to do. And only in my time is it going to happen. Not your time, but in his time. His word will not return void. It's going to accomplish what he sent it out to do. Period, point blank. He can do anything but fail. So when we're putting our hopes on things, on men, on people, on women, and all of this other stuff, and we get disappointed because it doesn't turn out the way it's supposed to, God is saying, I'm over here, I'm waiting on you. I need you to come to me. And the beauty of it is he gives us free will. I love that. I was talking to somebody about that this weekend. I'm like, who am I to make my husband, my son, my sister, my brother do something when God gives me free will to make a choice? I can't do that. I don't hold that power. Only he is sovereign. He holds that, not me. So he gives us the opportunity. And guess what? His purpose is going to be accomplished no matter how long it takes, no matter what the situation is. So we have to make sure that we get ourselves in order, that we're ready to do what he has called for us to do. And we move with a sense of excellence, with a sense of, I would even say we got to move quickly when he calls us. But some of us are so busy trying to substitute what God is saying for what we want when we want it, and it doesn't come out right. And then we're like, well, I don't know. The devil is busy. No, the devil isn't busy. You're busy, my brother, my sister. You're busy. That's why that thing is rotating like a cycle. You're like, why am I on this hamster wheel? Because you're busy. There is no substitute for God. There is no substitute for what he can do for us. You'll always be thirsty. You'll always be hungry. You'll always be looking and seeking for more. You'll have money in your bank account, but you'll want more. You'll have a great job, but you'll want a better job. You'll be here and I want this, I want that. You have all of the desires of your heart, but you'll always want more. And God is saying, because there's no substitute for me. I can give you all the stuff, but it won't give you peace. It won't give you discernment. It won't give you joy. It won't allow you to sleep at night. It won't give you a sense of, hey, I'm doing this for the greater good of what God has called me to do. Not myself, not me. It'll let you pat yourself on the back for a minute, but it won't last. It's just like I thought about it this morning. I said it's almost like when we were little and we tried to make pancakes and the batter, the recipe called for milk and we didn't have no milk and we tried to put water. Them pancakes didn't taste the same. They were not the same. And God is like, there's no substitute for me. It doesn't matter how much stuff you have. It doesn't matter who you call. You could call Cleo. You could go to the psychic person. None of that stuff is going to give you what he is going to give you. God is just like in Isaiah 55. He is the pure rain that we need. Just like the soil needs the pure rain. When we water our grass, we notice that when it's rainwater coming from the heavens, the grass flourishes so much better than what we do with our sprinkler system. Now, we spend a whole lot of money watering that grass with that sprinkler system. It does good, but it doesn't flourish like the rain that's coming from heavens up above. And that's the same thing from him. We got to get ourselves in a situation where we're not worried about what man says. We're not worried about what it looks like to other people. We have to seek him. And as I was looking at this scripture right here, in particular, 55, 10, and 11, I'm like, you know what, Lord, this is for both the believer, the unbeliever, the person who's lost and the person who is right here and they're ready and they're thirsting and they're hungry and they're reaching out and they're eating of the word, partaking daily. We got to seek him for ourselves. And that was one of the questions. Well, how do you know when he's talking to you? How do you know when anybody is talking to you? How do I know when Shanita calls me that it's Shanita? Because I have a relationship with her. Even if I don't look at caller ID, I can start talking to my sister and I know it's her. Same thing. That's how you build a relationship. That's how you know when God is talking to you. That's how you know, because you build a relationship. And the question was, well, how do you build a relationship? How do you build a relationship with anybody? You spend time with him. You spend time. You have to sit, you have to meditate, you have to pray. You carve out time when you're starting to meet somebody new. You want to talk to them all the time. You want to text them. You want to call. You want to go to lunch. You want to do this. You can dine alone with him. You can do that. You can sit down. You can read with him and you can talk. You get in a place of quiet, just like you yearn to hear and be with everybody else. Same thing with him. You have to sit down and you got to build a relationship. One of the things that I pride myself on, both in my personal and professional life, is building relationships. It's nothing you can do outside of having, when you have a relationship, doors will open. Things will look like, well, I don't think that's going to work for me because I don't have what I need. And God is like, you did what you got a relationship with me. I'm going to open the door. It don't matter what it looks like. Relationships are critical. So just like you invest time and effort in these other relationships, you got to invest time and effort with him. Then you get to know his voice. Does it work the same for everybody? No. Can I tell you that I can hear him? I can hear his voice like I hear you. There are times that I felt him hug me and wrap his arms around me, not knowing that I was getting ready to go into a situation where I would need that or that reassurance. And he gave it to me before I got there. I've experienced it. And guess what? I can share and tell somebody else because of my experience, because of my relationship with you. And that's what we have to get into. We have to make sure we have the relationship with him, because guess what? This cycle that he has is like no other. Again, if you just turned in, the cycle is simple as this. The word comes forth from God for a specific purpose. It will never fail to achieve what God desires, and it too will return to God having accomplished its purpose. So it's going to go just like that. It's going to return. It's going to accomplish its purpose. It's not going to fail. Now, for those of us who are already, we're walking and we're like, okay, well, I'm already there. Then that means it's time for you to share your testimony. It's time for you to be a witness. It's time for you to share. He didn't bring us through what he brought us through for you to sit back and say, well, I don't want nobody to know that, I used to be running these streets. I used to be up and down. I used to be flying from Jamaica to Texas to here to there. I don't need nobody knowing all of that. I don't need nobody to know how I bought this car. I don't need nobody to know how I paid for school. I don't need nobody to know this or that or the third. It doesn't matter, family. It's about advancing his kingdom. It's about, as my sister Kimberly just said, working together to advance his kingdom. It's time for us to be able to testify, give that testimony, share with somebody. And again, everybody is going to do it in front of the church. And that's okay. Doesn't mean that your testimony isn't just as powerful as the person who stands up in front of the church. Your testimony may be for that one person, that one situation. So you have to make sure you're ready. When he calls you to be obedient, when he calls you to share, when you're sitting there listening and you're thinking, well, I don't want these people to know. It's not about you. It's never been about us. It's about his kingdom and it being advanced. So get ready. It's time for us to be obedient. It's time for us to move the way we're supposed to. Stop worrying about what they said. Stop worrying about what they think, because at the end and the beginning of the day, we all have a divine appointment with God, and nobody is going to be there to be a character witness. We are going to have to stand. We are going to have to give account for our actions to our Father. Period, point blank. He is not going to say, well, let me ask Kimberly how Dr. K was. Let me ask Yvonne what kind of friend Dr. K was. Let me ask Pam what kind of daughter she was. Let me ask Frank what kind of wife she was. He's not going to do that. You are going to come. You are going to stand right directly in front of him, and you're going to have to give account for your actions. So if you're willing to sacrifice that much, then by all means, do what you're doing. But family, I am not. I know what he's done for me. I know how he's moving. I can't be anything but obedient. It doesn't matter how, oh, hallelujah. Y'all see my husband say that she's been a good wife. Come on now. It doesn't matter what that thing looks like. I promise you guys, we got to go ahead. We got to be willing to share. And there's times you got to jump in. Your gut will be saying, oh my God, I feel like I'm supposed to say something, but oh no, I don't think so. And God is like, that's me. You were waiting on that sign. That was me. I was saying, it's time for you to talk. It's time for you to say something. We got to stop sitting back, letting people fail, letting people run into walls when God is saying, that's the person right there that I told you I need you to work with. That's the person that I want you to share with, not fix them. Because he didn't say that. He is saying, this is the person I need you to share your testimony with. This is the person I need you just to listen to. This is the person I need you to check in with and let them remind them that they're not alone. Tell them how you went through and how you came out on the other side. Let them know what I've done for you. Share my goodness with them. Family, if you're not doing it, then you're wrong. It's time for us to step up. We got to open our mouths. We got to stop sitting in the background when he's pushing you to step up to the forefront. Be obedient. We don't want to be stuck, family. So, guys, that's what I have for you on this morning. I'm excited. As y'all can see, I always get like real pumped up when it's time for me to share what he has asked for me to share. I really wanted to thank everybody because guess what? Our vision board party is coming up. It's going to be Sunday. And I've already said this is going to be an experience like none other. I have guest speaker, Dr. Rocks. Me and my sister are going to just be sharing and fellowshipping and having a great time. Next year, we're looking to expand it. But this year, I had to be obedient to what God said. It's going to be an intimate event. For those of you who bought your tickets, we look forward to seeing you on Sunday. And guess what? Please be on time because this sister starts on time. So we want to start on time. We want to be obedient. We want to have a good time fellowship. And we're going to write the vision and make it plain because guess what? He says that the vision is for an appointed time. Guess it might tarry. So understand, I ain't telling you you're going to put it on the board and it's just going to happen. Everybody's relationship is different. Everybody's walk is different. But we're going to process through that thing together because you're not by yourself. So I look forward to seeing each and every one of you. Yes, he is sovereign. I love it. I love it. I love it. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you for Wisdom Wednesday. We might have a special guest. I don't know. We'll see how things work out as this week continues to progress. But I look forward to seeing you right back here Wednesday at 7:30. I love you guys. Have a fantastic day and be great. Be obedient. I'm going to leave you with this.